Welcome everyone to the Co-Creators Convergence third Thursday call. It is January 18th, 2018. I'm Noelle Marshall. This is my beloved Bob Warner.
Hi everyone, great to have you with us this evening.
And together we call ourselves Light Partners. So that's us. But this is a wonderful group. We are so glad with the turnout tonight to hear from our friend Sue Cimino. And but before we begin and get to the really juicy part, let Bob tell you something about the Co-Creators Convergence, because some of you, this might be your first call, an introduction to our group.
Thank you, Noelle. I'm glad to do that, and we're so happy to be being hosted this evening by Shelley Darling. Thank you. In her beautiful space here in Sarasota, Florida. This is a real treat for us. We just arrived this afternoon. So let you know about Co-Creators Convergence. We are a heart-resonant community of uniquely gifted souls dedicated to embodying and amplifying our collective consciousness, thereby co-creating a world that works for everyone. We do this with great love, compassion, and joy, honoring all realms of creation to accelerate the awakening of humanity. And there are 4 ways to be engaged with our community. We welcome everyone that is new to being engaged with the Co-Creators Convergence community this evening. There are 4 ways to engage with us. First is on our Facebook page, very active Facebook page 24/7. We'd love to have you join us there. We have this call at the third Thursday of every month with amazing conversation and communion here. We also have a website, co-creatorsconvergence.com, and on that website we have about our activities and also archives of all of our phone calls on a monthly basis all the way back to and including 2014. We have had amazing connection with people over the course of the last 3.5 years. And so we invite you to go there. This call is being recorded and will be on that site within the next 24 hours. And lastly, so exciting is that annually we get together. So far, we've gotten together 5 times in the summer at Sunrise Ranch outside of Loveland, Colorado for what we call Co-Creators Convergence Live. And so there's information about that on our website. Registration for this year's event, which begins May 30th, is 1 day longer than last year because people have a tendency to not want to go home when the contract tells us we're supposed to go home. So we extended another day this year, and we'd love to have you join us starting May 30th in Loveland, Colorado. So all the information's on the website. Thanks, Noelle.
Thank you, Bob. Sue, before we begin, I want to introduce one CCC member. I forgot to mention this to you. Nicole. Nicole is right here with us, and she has a special prayer request. So for something that's very serious that's going on in her community in Ohio. So she's asking for prayer support for her community. So Nicole, I'm gonna, you're unmuted. Go ahead and brief us on this and let us know how these light workers can lift up the situation.
Thank you, Noelle. We are having an issue right now with a high suicide rate in teenagers, specifically in a school called Perry Township in Stark County. Through doing some meditation and some crystal work, we have been guided to know that there's a lot of use of Ouija boards right now in that area, and that they're very energetically sensitive in that area as well. And so without them having mentors, they're looking into their own sources to find connection. Unfortunately, we all know the Ouija boards can serve as good, but in this case have not been serving as good. So we have done a meditation here in Ohio, asking that the Ouija boards be infused with light and served only for their divine highest nature. And we're also doing a drum meditation tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, to start using the light that we have infused with all of the Ouija boards, to start calling them in, so that they can find the support, the nurture, and the mentors that they need to explore spirituality in a safe and loving and nurturing environments. So that's what we're asking for. We're asking for help.
Thank you, Nicole, and please keep us updated on our CCC Co-Creators Convergence Facebook page. And if anyone who's on this call is not a member of that, it is a closed group. So if you want to be part of that, just search for CCC Co-Creators Convergence, ask to join, and I'll recognize and join you. So, but please keep us updated on this. And so 7 p.m. tomorrow, if we can remember
what
to.
we would like to see is we would like to see that, anyone who feels called to serve in this way, if it's happening in this community, it's happening in others. Obviously, these newer empaths that have no way to search out their mentors are looking through any sources that they can find on their own. And so what we would like to see is we'd like to envision all of the Ouija boards infused with light and used only in their highest and divine calling is what we would like to see.
Thank you. So please share that on the Facebook page, Nicole, also, if you haven't already, for others that haven't, that aren't on the call tonight or don't see it in the next 24 hours. Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go to Sue. We're going to invite you to please center us, bring us into meditation, your beautiful energy, and I know that your helpers will also be helping with this as well. So I'm going to unmute you and welcome Sue Cimino. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Sue after we bring us into this meditation for those of you who might be new to Sue. So if you could, make sure that you are on mute. I am trying to mute everyone, but we want to make this really sacred space at this time. So Sue, I'm going to.
All right, so if you would all just close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. And just start relaxing and going deeper and deeper into yourself. Just put aside your problems, your concerns, all that you don't need right now, and go deeper into yourself and down into that place where grace is tangible, where we can feel it all around us. Feel your edges to begin to soften as you melt into the field of grace. This is the place where everything is possible and where miracles can happen. We ask that everyone listening now and even in the future, that you all be blessed with all the miracles that you need, whatever they may be, and that you also be given the help that you need so that you may receive the miracles fully. You may receive the love, the light, the blessings, the gifts that are being given you in this moment and in every moment. And if you would just feel the light of grace and breathe it into every cell in your being, down into your atoms, your molecules, your subatomic particles, just let the grace move through you. Thank you very, very much for coming this evening and taking a moment out of your life to join with us. Thank you very, very much. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Sue. And thank you everyone who is on the call with us live, and for those who will pick up this call. And the energy is just feels very powerful. There's a lot of powerful people on this call. But so I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Sue. And Sue, we had the pleasure of meeting at our Co-Creators Convergence in Loveland, Colorado in 2016. And she was kind of quiet during our gathering, but she also just had a giant energy. And after the convergence, Bob and I went and made an appointment with her because of the procedure, the gift that she's been given, whole body alignment. And Sue is going to be telling us about that. But a little bit about Sue, she said that she had a spiritual awakening in 1986 and left behind an illustrious career as an accountant and decided to bust out, follow the call of spirit. I think you're even in an RV for a while. Of course, that's near and dear to our hearts because Bob and I have been RVers coming up on 8 years. She also spent 9 years deeply entrenched or studying occult miracles. So, but then in 2007, she was called to Tasmania, and she thought she was called there by the elders of the current Tasmanians. But through a very unique experiences, she found she was being called by the elders, the ancient ones. And so, Sue, I'm going to let you take it kind of from here. But let me just tell you some of her other qualifications. She also has training in biocom, bioresonance therapist, and she's a certified hypnotherapist, as well as, I can say, a very accomplished author. I had the pleasure of being able to read and then write an endorsement of Sue's book. And I want other people to read it. It just will wrap you up. It's like a spiritual thriller, adventure, and discovery book. It's just, and it's so well written. So Sue, congratulations on the completion of your book. And I'm going to let you just take it from here. And what do you want our beautiful gathering here, and those will pick this up later. Tell us about your story, and at the end, if some of you aren't familiar with us, we always have time, at least a half hour at the end, for Q&A. So I just say take notes, and if you have some questions, bring them at the end. Every now and then, Sue, I'll jump in if I think I don't understand something.
Okay.
Nobody else doesn't. So anyway, without any further ado, I give it to you, my Sue.
Thank you very much. And like I said before, thank you for everyone who took time to come be with us tonight. I'm going to give you just a teeny bit more background. It's true I was an accountant, and after my spiritual awakening, I think I worked for another year before I just realized I'm not that anymore. And so started wandering the world following spirit. And I started meeting a lot of spiritual people. In fact, Deborah's on the call. I think I met her during that period. But it was really frustrating for me because I started meeting astrologers and psychics and clairvoyants and people that channeled, but I felt like a rock. Like they had all these visions and heard voices, and I had nothing. And what made it even more frustrating was when I would meet these people, they'd look at me and go, "Oh, aren't you should be psychic. Like, why aren't you psychic? It's there. What's wrong?" So I went around for years going, what's blocking me? What's keeping me from doing this? And I have to say at that point, I wasn't even looking for my purpose because I figured I was too dense or not useful because I couldn't tap in where other people could. And I tell you that because it fits in with the story that comes out in the book. Finally, in 2007, well, besides the Course in Miracles, I also went through a 3-year dark night of the soul where I was sick, probably close to dying, depressed and suicidal. That was after the Course in Miracles, after I'd had amazing spiritual experiences. But as I suspect many of you know, if we came here to help humanity, we have to clean up our own backyard first. So that I went through those periods as well. But it was in 2007 when Spirit really started turning up the heat. I had an epiphany on New Year's Day where I realized I had gone back into accounting at that point, and I realized this isn't working, and I aligned with my purpose, even though I had no idea what it was. And within days, the crumbs started showing up. The crumbs that little by little led me on my way to discover what I was on the planet for. And it didn't happen overnight, but within 9 months is when I got the call to go to Tasmania out of the blue. Like, whoever thought Tasmania? I didn't even, it was not on my radar. And I happened to be at Gene Houston's mystery school, and all these people that get messages were telling me the Aboriginals are calling you. And I did see a couple of faces, Aboriginal faces, but I quit my job, gave away my cat, and moved to, went to visit Tasmania, and had some really amazing mystical experiences there that were not what I was expecting. I tend to be logical, rational, detail-oriented, which was why I was an accountant. And I have discovered that I am intuitive, and I would call myself claircognizant. I know things. But I spent most of my life thinking I was a rock and watching signs. I had to learn how to watch the signs to figure out what I was being told to do, because in the late 80s, I committed myself to fulfilling my purpose. So I want to give you a little bit of going ahead before I go back to the book, because the book is the year and a half, about 15 months from my epiphany on New Year's Day through my trip through Tasmania. But it also, at that time, I started pulling together bits of, it's like I've been picking up pieces of the puzzle my whole life, and I didn't know what to do with them. I just carried around this bag of puzzle pieces going, well, one of these days, these might mean something to me. For example, 20 years earlier, I'd had memories of being tortured in a past life. And when someone did a regression on me, and I discovered I could break the agreement with the other soul group that I had made an agreement with to torture each other. Now, when I did that, it left me entirely. It was no longer in my body, in my being, in my emotions, in my energy. And I just thought it was a nice happening and didn't think about it. But it was in 2007 that Spirit started bringing up more and more instances where I had to draw on that memory. And I started to realize, oh, there's a lot we can break agreements about. And I was really bashful at that time about my knowing, my intuition, because it was not, I couldn't say I heard a voice. I couldn't say, I got this message or something appeared to me. I would have gut feelings. And I started working with the collective. I used to go out and talk to people on a soul level and invite for them to break agreements. And so all of that was happening before I went to Tasmania. Then I have this month down there wandering around having very unusual experiences that I was not prepared for, and that culminated in me being invited to go to this island off the coast of Tasmania where I met, and I'll say the consciousness, and I don't know why this is where they are, but I met the consciousness that works with me still. And it took me months to realize that's what I had met there. I eventually went back to Tasmania for 7 years, and it's almost like they needed me to sit in one place so that the connection would become clear. I would say for the first 5 years, I didn't really realize that I was part of their team. It took, I got to a point where I had Lyme disease and was going downhill fast, and I mean really fast. I thought I had dementia. My brain was not working at all, but I was also studying the BICOM, the bioresonance therapy. So I was using that to help me get rid of the Lyme when I was told, well, no, I'll do it this way. I had to look at the fact that I was either going to get sick and die, or I was going to stop being afraid, and I was going to be willing to stand up and do what I came here to do and be what I am. And when I made that decision, within 3 weeks, the whole being alignment landed in my lap. And I can't say I originated it or developed it. It was given to me. It was given to me in one fell swoop. Since then, they have been training me as I work with people. That's my credential. It's like they have been training me because I started immediately working with people with Lyme disease and discovering things that block human beings. Somewhere decades earlier, I knew that I was here to help humanity get through this massive quantum leap that we're going to go through. And I don't think that's new news to any of you that we're getting ready to take a huge leap. And I always knew that I had something to do with that. But because I was such a rock, I'm like, well, I don't know what that would be. Well, suddenly I meet this consciousness, and the pieces start falling together about the ability to break agreements, and so much else that I learned on my dark night of the soul. So I did the whole being alignment on me, and suddenly I no longer had Lyme disease. Now I had a BICOM machine I could test. I had a machine that tested. This is my left brain joining my right brain and being able to look things in a whole different way. So I started working with other people with Lyme disease and had shocking results, shocking for an accountant. So that was hard to accept, but I had promised myself that I was not going to be afraid to be what I am and do what I can do. And I'm going to be very honest with you. The words that I use in the whole being alignment are not special, but the grace, there's a grace or an agape energy that comes direct, that's divine, that is what facilitates the quantum leaps that happen through the whole being alignment. So I'll just continue on. So it was 3 years ago when the whole being alignment landed. And within months, I was in the US working with people with Lyme disease, and I was continually shown more and more things that block humanity. It says my internet's unstable. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, great. I'd been asking my whole life, what can I do to help all of creation, all of humanity? And in my Tasmanian adventures, creation started talking to me. And this is a circle of consciousness that's been working. It's part of creation. It's been helping human beings evolve for eons. And they started telling me where the pitfalls were in our makeup and what needed to happen and how it could happen so that we wouldn't have to go through destroy ourselves again and then start afresh. And I don't know what you guys remember, but we've done that more than a few times. So I'm going to talk just for a moment about we're all being called. I'll go there. We're all being called because, like, I would say probably every single person on this call has been called into form in this time and place because you offered to come bring something that was needed at this time while humanity makes a quantum leap. And it took me decades to get through my own stuff to realize that I had a part to play. And I'm hoping through the book, through watching someone that was a rock, stumble along and find their way, will start getting you to hear the little niggles, the little whispers, the little knowings. Some of you will get direct knowing, and you you'll find the story interesting, but you don't need the encouragement because you're already hearing things. Or maybe you're hearing things and you need the encouragement to get off your butt because it's a gift. Use it because we need the help. But I really want, while we're going through this transition, so many people are starting to have more and more intuition, more and more revelation or experiences. And because our, because we'll say the culture doesn't really value that. We find our little pockets of people that are more conscious. I'm hoping the book will get people to start valuing their experiences and acknowledging them and appreciating them, because it is what is bringing in your guidance and your directions and your gifts. When the whole being alignment landed, and that was just 3 years ago. I was called to Tasmania in 2007. That's 11 years ago. Throughout all of that and through decades before, like, I never knew the whole being alignment was going to land. And when it did, I knew I'd found my purpose. But what I discovered was that entire 30 years before, maybe even all 64, I was being trained to do what I'm here to do. I was being trained perfectly. Did I stumble a little more than I had to? Probably. But everything was pointing me in this direction. And even though I didn't know it. So that feels really important to me.
Sue?
Yes?
Could you give us a little bit more description of the whole being alignment? You know, what that process is, or what that, because I know you're using the term and some may not be gone through it or be familiar with it. So just a little bit more about what that is, please.
I'd be happy to. It's really a very, it's simple in face value. It gets a little detailed, but it's you making a new agreement. When I realized we could break agreements, I suddenly realized we could make new ones. And so it's you making a new agreement to ask your physical body and all of your energy bodies to come into alignment with you at the highest level, your divine self. Your divine self knew what you wanted to come here for. You laid it out. You got all the helpers. You got all the roadblocks and the assistance. You asked the people, the beings that were going to keep you from getting lost again. And I believe that when we come into form, there's this lack of fluidity when spirit and matter come together. We're still in the sticky stages of making that work. And most people are trying really hard to fulfill the destiny that they planned for themselves, but they're all balled up in their knickers. And so this just it's a conscious choice to have all of you aligned with your divine self so that all of you can move forward as a single whole unit, rather than having your health going this way and your emotions going that way. And so that's the simple process. And it took, sorry, I didn't turn my phone off. It took a little bit of time until I realized, it was about 1.5 years ago when I was in Colorado, that I suddenly realized that in this process, we could also help you in all your other selves, like all of your past lives, other existences, realities, universes. I don't know how all that works. I just go, every you that's ever been that shares the same divine self, we can clear things for all of you. Because I had noticed that people were having bleed through, like I did, from past lives. Even sometimes physical injuries are something that's recurred over and over and over again throughout lifetimes. And as they've been training me, what I discovered was that we can actually I'll say it this way, like, say if you injure your shoulder in another lifetime, it is like the matrix around the physical body is weak there. So in other following lifetimes, you're going to continue to re-injure, or you may be more susceptible to being intruded upon or interfered with, which I'll talk about in a second. But we can reweave that matrix, and I've had many people where their chronic issue has completely gone away immediately, which was shocking to me. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it's happened enough times that it's like, okay, this is something. The overriding thing, the overriding reason for doing the whole being alignment for me is to facilitate the clearing of all the excess baggage, emotional baggage, karmic agreements, where you're being hurt and hurting and being hurt and hurting. Like, can we stop recycling the damn karma, please? But also, I want to say this. We all try really hard to do the best that we can do, and we have no idea what's in our unconscious programming. It's unconscious, and we have no idea what's in there, and yet it plays such an enormous part in our health, in our experiences, in our ability to move forward on our path. And this has become clearer and clearer to me as I've been working. And so constantly I'm being shown by these guys new areas where we can clear stuff. And so that's how I stumbled upon energies and entities that don't belong in you. And that it's like human beings are so susceptible to being joined by energies and entities that aren't you and aren't in alignment. And I really feel that when Nicole was talking about the kids on the Ouija boards. There are so many ways that we have allowed things into us, and people aren't aware of that. And when I discovered it in a few people, because they could tell me I have something in me that hurts me, I started clearing it in everybody. And what I noticed was it's in lots of people, and they have no idea. And some of it they've carried for lifetimes. Some of it has happened when something was trying to be kind, like it actually had good intentions. When a child is going through lots of trauma, things like that, it will come in and comfort, but they're not supposed to be there. So that kind of stuff I clear. There's a lot of things interfering. In fact, I've worked with several of you from the CCC a year and a half ago. Since then, I stumbled upon, they taught me, I'll put it that way, another way that people are being accessed. And I started clearing it on everybody new that I worked with. I was shocked. It was like in 60 to 70% of human beings have almost like an agreement for something to access you and interfere. And so anyway, I get to see a lot of really weird stuff. I sometimes go, you're going to make me say what to them? But I say it, even though I don't hear it, I don't see it, I just know it. I feel it inside. I'll say it, and people always respond with, oh, that makes so much sense. I've been having these dreams. I've been having these experiences. I keep saying this or this happens. So as long as that keeps working, I keep piping up. Did that explain the whole being alignment enough?
Yeah, it did. And how do you use a biocom in? Is that a completely separate track from what you're doing with the whole being aligned, or do you use them in
It's a completely separate track, and it's a great track. Like, it's energetic frequency that it removes blocks from the physical health and helps the body heal itself, basically to heal itself. It removes anything blocking it from healing itself. That's where I started. I rarely use the BICOM anymore. I do sometimes with people with Lyme disease, but the whole being alignment clears things so much faster and more complete than the BICOM machine. Like, I would have people come to me before for the whole being alignment, and I would do it while I was using the BICOM. They would come to me for 5 2-hour visits and go home without their Lyme disease. Well, they would not have their Lyme disease almost immediately, but then I would help their body heal. But I find that the whole being alignment is so much faster. And I want to say something about, this has to do with the whole being alignment and the physical body, because it explains why the whole being alignment is such a good thing. Every cell in your body is new within a year. Some of your cells are new within 3 weeks. And if all these cells are new, why is the body getting old? Why is it sick? Why do things not work? They're all new cells. And it took me a while, but they showed me that there's some sort of overlay or programming that we're not aware of, but that is telling the body, requesting the body to be sick, to be ill, to have problems. And when we do the whole being alignment, we're basically pulling back that old programming and rebooting to the original programming, the original design and template that you intended for yourself in your current life. And that's why one of the things people most say when we do the whole being alignment is, I feel so much clearer and lighter. For some people it's subtle, some people it's not subtle, but some people go, oh, my mother and I are getting along now, or I'm not worried anymore, I'm not anxious anymore, or my pain's gone away. I want to tell you, I know the whole being alignment is beneficial to everybody. I have a deal with spirit. It's like, let it only bless. Let it only bless. Only bring to me the people I can help. And if I can't help them, don't waste my time or their money, or, it's just, that's not okay with me. But I know, like for young people, it's really rewarding for me to work with some of the new kids in their 20s, in their 30s, because they're not designed quite the same as some of us old guys. Their brains work different. They're a lot of the old baggage, like they've been tweaked and don't have the same issues. But when they are born into the world and they look around and go, well, this is a pretty weird place, they start getting lost into the drugs that they choose, or the drugs that we put them on, or to the computers or the whatever. And to just give them a heads up that there's something else going on and they're not nuts, usually they just hit the ground running after that. It's great. 3 years ago is when the whole being alignment landed. Within a few months, I was working with people with Lyme, and about 2.5 years ago, I was told to come back and live in the United States again. I had lived for 7 years in Australia, on this little island off the coast of Tasmania, but I was told to come back. I had been trying since the very beginning to put the whole being alignment up into the collective. I have access to the collective for some strange reason, and I thought I'll just put it up there so that everyone can just download it, because that would be the easiest way I knew to make it accessible to people. Like, I didn't need anybody to know I even existed. I just tried to do that. And I was really disappointed when I was told that, and I was told by someone I trust that does hear, like really hears, that the problem was they don't have access to the energy needed for this big, this quantum leap to occur. But I was told that if I would write the books and get them out, that then people would be able to download the whole being alignment directly. So that is what made me come back. It's what made me get off my butt and write this book. Last summer, I wrote 3.5 books. This is the first one. The next one, the first one is like the 15 months of meeting, like going to Tasmania, having all of the foundation land that eventually becomes the whole being alignment. The next book will go deeply into creation's message, the things that I was told directly about how things are working, what's getting messed up, what we can do to help. It talks about my journey with Lyme and discovering the whole being alignment. But my intention is, by the end of that book, how exactly it's going to work, I don't know, but that people will be able to download the whole being alignment directly for free. That's my ultimate goal. I'm not I know I'll be taken care of no matter what, but that's where I'm headed. And I'm really excited about it because one of them is about ready to emerge. So,
wonderful. You're doing great. I do want to ask you that, you describe yourself as a rock. And so I'm just kind of saying what you're meaning by that is that you didn't feel like you had any intuitive gifts or capabilities.
Yes, and I don't feel like a rock anymore. Amen. I still don't hear things. Every once in a while I'll see things in my mind's eye, but the communication is open, no question. And I trust it now. I just
All right.
wouldn't have known to trust it earlier because I could have saved myself a lot of trouble.
Well, one of the things that, you said about, about listening, you decided to finally follow the breadcrumbs and listen. How do we jumpstart our listening? To get, because maybe I'm a rock.
Well, I would have to
Quit
say,
laughing, Shelley.
first of all, I would not discount like the self-criticism that we go through and the self-doubt is part of what's been hardwired into our system as fear and negativity. It's one of the things I clear in the whole being alignment. But that voice, you can't let that voice run you. You have to recognize that you've just been given some help or some information. You have to acknowledge it and be grateful for it, like thank them and ask for more. Asking for help is a huge deal. Even if you don't know what to ask for help to receive the help. That's my favorite prayer and what I encourage everybody to do. And I know that it's almost like when you tell them, oh, thanks, like, where's my glasses? Oh my God, how did you guys get me to look there? Thank you. How did you do that? Like, the more you acknowledge it and are delighted with it, the more opportunities are given you. But also look for things like who's saying things to you multiple times. Like Noelle said this to me, and now Deborah just said it to me, and now Gudrun just said it, like, oh, I better pay attention. That's why I finally did the testimonials with Kathy, because it came to me enough times. The other thing I want to say is I would highly recommend, like, we work really hard at clearing the things that we know are issues, but we don't know what's in the unconscious. And people are often saying, yeah, but I've done so much work on this. And it's like, right, you've done work on all the things you can see. I would say, whether it's me or someone else, go for the deeper stuff that you can't see, that you're not aware of. Don't assume that weird little thing that keeps popping up in your head is you. Maybe it's not you. Maybe there's a way to clear that. Go
ahead.
It's one of my stories. I was having a lot of these, this was years ago, this was decades ago, it was before I went to Tasmania. I was having all of these negative thoughts. I kept thinking I was going to be attacked. I was living in an RV park, and I said something to my friend, and she goes, well, the prison is 2 miles from there, and the park looks nice and whatever, but she's going, well, maybe it's all the astral debris. And I rolled my eyes and said, yeah, well, okay. But I went home, and I just did a little prayer and asked for all the astral debris from the prison to be taken away, which totally cleared the issue for me. But it was also one of those moments when I was praying for myself, and all of a sudden I went, my God, you prisoners, you got so much astral debris over there. You want to get rid of that too? Just toss it up. The angels are sucking this stuff out. Now, I didn't know if that worked or not. Like, that was just me in that moment doing what I felt was right. It was a couple of months later when I was actually told, well, some of them are ready now. Do it again. Trust your gut and go with it, even if it seems unusual. Our paths are not going to be usual. We are about ready to take a quantum leap. Find the courage to walk past the fear and do it anyway, or to do those things that seem too unusual. I'll tell you another just little quick story. My dad is a civil engineer, very left brain logical. Where did I get that from? And there was a moment in my life where I realized he had no idea who I was. finally, when all of this was really opening up for me spiritually, I started being honest with him about the experiences I was having and about why I was going to Tasmania when I went back to write the book, and the more honest I was with him, the more he absolutely accepted me and was supportive. And now he says things to me that are straight out of God's mouth. And I'm just sitting there like he could be channeling. And I'm just laughing. He actually told me last night, he says, well, what you need to do is sit down and talk to, those guys that you talk to and tell them you need help with getting this published. And I'm just laughing because, anyway.
Yeah, can't imagine my father doing that. But never say never, even though he's on the other side. I think Sue, if you feel like you're ready, we could open this up, and I'm going to put this on gallery view. And if you have a question that you would like to ask, you can put it in the chat if you want, or if you want to talk directly to Sue, raise your hand and I'll call on you. So does anyone have a question or comment? Okay, we got Barbana Masso from Chicago town. All right. She unmuted now.
Hi. So good to see you, Sue. And I don't know. You always bring me into the right space. I don't know why, but I'm having trouble with kidney stones right now. Does the whole being alignment work with kidney stones? Because I'm just going next week to find out if I have to have surgery. So it's something I really don't want to do.
Well, I can't say specifically, but this is what I would say. It would be really easy. Like, once I do the whole being alignment, it's complete, except that people often call me when specific issues come up. Mm-hmm. And I've been blown away by what's possible. Like, we could go in and look at if there's something from a past life that you need to specifically deal with in order for that to not be an issue. And the other thing is the hypnotherapy is also a tool that I use when it's a specific something, even in the health area. So definitely, I would be more than happy to go dig in there with you and see if it's possible. If I can't help you, I'll also be told that.
Okay, that'd be great, because this is something that keeps happening. It's not, it's my third round with this whole thing. The other thing is, I just wanted to say that I agree with you with the bag of puzzle pieces, because I have a big bag of puzzle pieces and I'm just trying to figure them out. So I was happy to hear someone else put it that way, because that's how I feel. And thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
Okay, anyone else like to raise your hand or give a comment or question to Sue? Okay, we got Nicole up here. Nicole, let me see, unmute. Why is it, there you go. Are you unmuted? There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, I really just had a comment for you, because I honor that I was able to attend. I don't often get to attend the CCCs live, and you just resonated with me in such a powerful way. I often feel like the rock, right? So many people are telling me, I feel your power, stand in your power. And I'm like, well, where's it come? When's it going to come? Like,
yeah,
you're like looking around for it. And I really do appreciate that. It gives me hope hearing that, especially from women who I know have been doing it for, 20 years. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. That's the point.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. And let's see, Stephanie, I'm going to unmute you. Or you could, there you go. Stephanie.
Hi. Hello. I was, after listening to what you were saying about the reoccurring issues with the health, I mean, I've gone from one thing to another over the years, and I overcome it, and then something else comes. Like right now, I'm dealing with, for 3 years, I've had this bizarre rash, and no one else around me has it, just me. And it seems to be in my house or in the environment. Like when I go out, if I go to certain places, it's like this invisible thing of icky attacks. That's all I know how to explain it. Or if I'm even sitting in the house, one minute I'm fine, the next minute it's like all over me and I'm itching. It's the bizarrest thing. Like I did the video the other day, and I mean, I broke out everywhere, all over my face, everywhere. So I'm like going, what the heck is going on?
Is that the video that you put on our CCC page, Stephanie?
Yeah, actually, that was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to do a little intro, and my face is so broken out and just, I mean, literally. So I didn't do the second one. I just did the video.
Okay.
But, and it's like, I'm not sure how to deal with this, you know, and I do, you know, different things too, but it's almost like I'm coming into that real thing that I'm supposed to do, kind of like what Sue was talking about, how I've been training all this time. I've got all these things and I know I'm supposed to do this. And yet every time, it started when I first started coming out and putting my work out. And it was almost like, you know, you're not going to do this. I got really, really ill, physically ill. And
I totally understand because I was sick almost all of my life, and it's illness is one of the ways that we self-sabotage, but it's not conscious, it's unconscious. It's one of those things in the subconscious. And what I find lots of people, many of us have memories of being burned, tortured, cut down to lifetime after lifetime, and not being able to stand up, speak our truth, and be, you know, bring our gifts to the world. And so we're terrified, or we have like something trying to keep us safe inside that won't let us. And yeah, that's the kind of things we got to get beyond, but you're not nuts is basically what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Because it doesn't affect anybody, you know, like everybody in the house with me is fine. Me, I'm literally torn up and itching all the time.
I think I don't know about most, so many things that are physical have nothing to do with the body. They're on some other level. In fact, that's what I'm trained to do, is like go look deeper, deeper, deeper to find the underlying thread, wherever it is. Often it's past life stuff. Sometimes it's in emotional things, but even that comes from past life. But to find the thread that's holding that and pull it so that it'll all just kind of, you know, lift off.
Well, it's funny that I ended up, this is the first time, usually something happens and I'm not able to be on the call, so I know I'm supposed to be here today. It's like, it was like, because I just made a determination today. I said, I'm not doing this. I have the stuff that I need to do. I need to get out of this. It's almost a prison because I can't really go out. I go out and then I come back and I suffer for 2 days. You know, until I can get it under, you know, and it's never really under wraps. It's just maybe tolerable.
Well, you might enjoy her book.
I'm looking forward to it. I actually both.
Yeah.
I mean, the book and an appointment.
Yeah. And we'll tell everyone how to get a hold of Sue at the end. But right now, I believe Stacy has her hand raised. So Stacy, over to you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yay.
Am I on?
You're on.
You are.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just wanted to tell everybody I've had the full body alignment done. Sue has helped me a lot through that. I always dealt with a lot of guilt and a lot of not believing in who I was. And I had a full body alignment done in Colorado. And through that meditation, I saw in my mind's eye like a stingray type thing coming in. And it was very dark and it just felt like it was all encompassing to me. And as we were talking and she brought in Archangel Michael, I heard the word let go of guilt. And all of a sudden the stingray just left. So I'm a medium, and it took me a long time to trust what I heard and what I felt, because I would always doubt it. And after that, it just kind of opened up a lot of windows for me to trust who I am. And the other thing that came up during that, when I was born, I had a dislocated hip. And during the full beam alignment, I saw myself in like a wagon train, and I'm driving the wagon train, and the wheel hit like a big rock, and the covered wagon fell over and landed on my hip, and that was how I died. And I had had problems with my hip for years, and I don't have it anymore. Like, I faced it.
I didn't know that, Stacy. How fun.
Oh, I thought I told you that. But I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a testimonial for anyone who hasn't had it done, that, you know, it worked wonders for me. My husband, big worrier, hasn't worried since he's had his alignment, and he was totally skeptical about the whole thing. So I just thought I would give you a little plug there for someone who has had it done a couple times, that I totally recommend it.
Fabulous. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else have a comment or question for Sue? If you're, I'm going to unmute the folks who are on the phone, Shelley and someone from area code 413. If you'd like to speak or ask a question or comment, how about area code 413? Would you like to say anything?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just tell us your name and where you're calling from, and go ahead.
Okay, sure. This is Mariah from Sarasota.
Oh, welcome, Mariah. We must be right down the street from you.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited about that.
Okay.
And Sue, hi.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. Sue, I just wanted to, I don't really have a question, but you said if we want to introduce ourselves, but I know Sue personally, and she's helped me so much over the years. I haven't been in contact with her lately.
Oh my God! Oh my God! How fun!
I know, isn't it fun?
Oh my God, I love Mariah. Mariah is one of my best friends from the 9 years in the spiritual community. Funny meeting you here.
I know, exactly. And I'm needing to make connections, so I'm going to go on the Facebook page with the Convergence, and I'll be in touch with you too, Sue.
Great. I'd love to hear from you. We have some things to talk about.
Super. How fun is that? Wow.
Right.
Thank you,
And,
Mariah.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put you on mute. We got you. We copied your telephone number. We might give you a call.
That'd be great.
Okay, thanks. All righty, I'm going to unmute Shelley. If you wanted to speak, Shelley, that's on the phone. Did you want to? Yeah, there you go.
Here I am. Thank you. I would like to find out, you are recording this session, right?
Yes.
And you'd like to find out where can I listen to it again, because I was so very comfortable going in and out into La La Land and back and forth. So I have to listen again because I was just a little tired today. And I apologize for it, but I can't help it. It is what it is. I know I was listening to Sue in the beginning of her story of how she's saying that she's not a psychic, and I feel myself very much like that. And I know that I'm just in the beginnings of a journey, and so I want to hear the whole thing all over again, and
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
Shelley, the way you can find this is two different ways. You can join our Facebook page. Just search for CCC Co-Creators Convergence. Join our group, and after each call, we post the replay. You can also go to our website, which is www.cochreators.com. co-creatorsconvergence.com. And
Okay.
now you said you're a friend of Darlis's, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you can always
And,
ask Darlis.
That's
You know what? I'm going to put
Um,
that. I'm going to put it in the chat section. What our website is, which is www.co-creatorsconvergence. Oh, you don't get the chat. That's okay. .com. Other folks can get it there. I'm going to say everyone can get this. Alrighty. Here we go.
okay.
Yeah, so if you didn't write that down or missed it in any way, talk to Doris and she will definitely get you hooked up with either of those two methods.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I heard bits and pieces go on, and then thinking about it, I would just go into someplace else, and then miss it, and then I feel funny about it, regretfully. But there is an opportunity to over again. I just don't get the opportunity to ask a question if I were to have one. But I took from Darlis the session with the Akashic records, and that was a wonderful, very amazing experience. And I am taking the course with her, and so I feel that I am going to begin a path also. So
You're following the breadcrumbs, Shelley. That's a great sign. You're following the breadcrumbs. Congratulations, Darla.
Yeah.
Excellent teacher. So
she's wonderful. She captured my my whole entire spirit, and it's great, very exciting.
I'm going to put you on mute. Darlis couldn't be on the call tonight because she's at a retreat. So you'll meet Darlis through our group if you join. Okay, anyone else have a comment, question? Praise for her book? Okay, Shanti Hart calling for Chicago. Then we'll go to Elsie and Cynthia.
I also took your class at the Star House summer before last, and it was awesome. And I have had a couple calls with you, and I will be making an appointment immediately, if not sooner. And it's so nice to see your face. I wanted to see you and all my other friends, but we've talked, but I didn't get to see your face up close. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay, Shanti, thank you for joining us. And Elsie from Michigan.
I just wanted to again say how wonderful it is to see Sue. I have not been on many calls this past year or so either, and this one was a must for me.
Thank you.
There just was no question that I needed to be here. I mean, I felt it from the beginning, and I'm really looking forward to the book. And I was actually reading all of the book because the parts that I saw were just spectacular. So I'm really excited about that.
Thank you.
And I wanted to piggyback a little on what Stacy had said, that I've had the privilege, only once, I need to come back to Sue, but I've had an opportunity to have an alignment with her too, not long after I was at CCC, a couple years ago. And it's incredibly effective. And tonight it's been an opportunity for me to reconnect, and the guides are here and they're helping me look forward in a little bit of a different way to what I need to do to get my work out as well, and to let go of the aftermath of a lot of the illness and stuff that's been around for the last couple of years. So they're revisiting, and this has helped me a great deal to take another look, and to things are surfacing. So I wanted you to know that, Sue.
Thank you. That's great. That makes me really happy to hear that things are going well for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I also want to congratulate Elsie on her book making a top seller on Amazon.
Oh,
So,
yay.
so
Exciting.
Elsie, would you please remind everyone what the name of your book is?
It's called Awakening Your Creative Voice, and the subtitle is Women in a World of Possibility. Men can also read it.
That's allowed?
It's allowed, yeah. So,
Thank you, Elsie. It's a beautiful book.
Thank you very much, and I'm really excited about the best-selling at the Amazon. It's a bestseller on Amazon within the past 3 weeks or so. So that's very, very, very exciting. So
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to seeing you this summer.
same
Okay,
here.
I'm going to mute you, Elsie, and we're going to go over here to Steve. Cynthia. Cynthia was first.
Then we'll come
Cynthia,
to Stephen.
and then we'll come to Stephen.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a lot of trouble with blocks, with illness, chronic fatigue, and fibromyalgia.
Cynthia, there's a lot of background noise. We can barely hear you.
The TV.
Oh.
My mom's watching the TV. She's hard of hearing, so.
Oh, okay.
The mic. There you go.
So I don't know how I could do it.
Maybe would you be able to type your question or comment in? Would that be possible or not?
Yeah.
Or get closer to the
Or
microphone.
get closer.
I have the microphone's right
Okay.
next to me.
Okay.
She's got it.
So saying I have chronic fatigue, microfialgia. So I'm on disability. So I don't have very much money. I charged Barbara Marks Hubbard's course on my credit card. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go there in November.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Alrighty. I'm going to put you on. All right.
so I have blocks, really bad trouble with blocks in my throat and my head. And it's probably just a lot of suppressed emotions. Tried to do the release technique, trying to release the emotions. A lot of them are in the subconscious I'm not aware of. So I'm having a hard time. So now I'm just beaming rays of light out, taking back my IDs into my body. And that's helping release some stuff. I got so contracted.
Mm-hmm.
So contracted that my bones were popping out and pinching the nerves. And I got so tired I couldn't work very much anymore. It's down to like a half a day, 2 days a week. And I had to go on Social Security disability. So I'm just getting started now. And then I had trouble. My dad, he got dementia. So I was taking care of him, and then my mom fell, broke her hip, and I was taking care of her. Both of them were light workers, but just to see them go this way, it's hard. My dad died a year ago, December 5th, 2016.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cynthia, let me see if Sue would have a comment for you.
Okay.
Hold on just a second.
I think there's all sorts of things that we could do. I'm not like lots of healers. Usually in 1-2 hour session, 2.5 max, we can do a lot. Fibromyalgia, like I've had people come to me with fibromyalgia on top of their Lyme. They don't have problems at all now because it comes from an Epstein-Barr virus, which causes all sorts of things. But when we do the whole being alignment, we actually reset the whole physical body. But I also notice weird relationships, you know, that you have in your life. A lot of those get cleaned up as well. And I'll just say this for people without money. Like I can do groups of people. I work with most people over the phone. I've done groups of up to 20 in person, but I'm about ready to start doing groups of say like 8 to 10, either in a one day, like on a Saturday or Sunday, or even in 3 or 4 different evenings for like an hour and a half. But by grouping people, it will cost less for everybody, but still be able to give you the So just know that's a possibility. If money's an issue. I don't like money to be what stops people, but
Right. And I would imagine also just reading your book would, some of that energy could come through.
It absolutely does. And I'm hoping to get the second book out during the summer, and that's the one that will take you right into the download. The point of the two books is it starts activating and bringing in the energy of grace in a way that's really can help people move forward.
Okay, so we're looking forward to that next book. We need it.
That's the first one.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia, and bless you. And we'll just send you some light right now, just to let you know that we just want to send you some love and some healing right now. Thank you for joining us this evening, making the effort here. Okay, already I'm gonna thank you, and I'm gonna go to Stephen now from Boulder. Stephen, you have the floor.
Okay, sounds like everybody can hear me. Well, hello. I felt like putting my voice in the circle here, and I've had the pleasure of working with Sue over a number. I guess it's been about 3 years. I got to, maybe more, I experienced the biocom days, and then I watched as the whole being alignment emerged, and I think I've experienced that a few times. And this popped up on my Facebook, I think, and Sue has been in my field lately. I was like, I need to connect with Sue again. And last time she was in Boulder, I have like a little story, because this is how Sue has really touched my life. There's been a big shift in my space, maybe over the last 2-3 months. And Sue was coming through Boulder, and she said, my guides have been telling me I need to connect with you, and I'm not connecting with anybody else because I'm breezing through town, but I need to connect with you. So we met up, and basically, like, I feel like what came through that transmission has been grace. And so much of how I talk and how I reference reality is how we can, in any moment, open to grace and let it guide us up the spiral staircase into alignment with who we really are. And we don't have to learn through karma and through going through these endless cycles of, looking outside for the answer. And so it's been an amazing spiral of growth here. And I've just been feeling like, we need to reconnect, because I feel like there's some, syncing up. And so I felt that in the field. So I'm here, and I just wanted to share my voice and my thanks and praise.
I love hearing that. Thank you so much for sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing
for the
that.
guides. I feel the guides, like all my psychic facilities have just came online like huge lately, where it was different before. I feel like it's just really clear. I feel in the stream with them. So it's good stuff. Thank you.
Well, that's a powerful testimonial.
Wow.
Thank you, Stephen.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, we have just a few more minutes left. Carrie would like to say something. Carrie from Arizona here. Let me. There you go. Carrie, you have the mic.
Thank you. Sue, I just want to thank you for being who you are, for illuminating me at a time in my life where it felt like everything was crashing in on me. I want to say, and I think that it's true and that it's real and that it's not just this moment, but it's going to continue on, that tonight, as a result of being with you, listening to you, recognizing what you were saying, I had a spontaneous healing. And one of the things that got through to me is I don't have to buy into that agreement anymore. I do not have to agree with the statistics of physicality on this planet. I do not have to agree with the fact that maybe I have karma to work off. Hey, I did that. I've done that. It's over. I don't need to do it again. I worked through it already. Why the heck didn't it stick? I needed you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. That's beautiful. We are so much more powerful than we have any idea. And we're really moving into the time and place where we can begin stretching our wings and soaring. It's just that our old belief system holds us back. And if we can just allow for the possibility that maybe we can have a spontaneous healing, why not?
Yeah, don't catch it now. Thank you, Carrie, and congratulations. I know you've been struggling.
Yes.
So that's really wonderful to hear. So, wow. Okay. So anyone else? We have just a few minutes left. So, well, someone is, we haven't heard from Mima or Henry or Jody Ann or Karen or Tina. You're welcome to chime in here, or you can put a comment in the chat box and I'll read it. In the meantime, Sue, why don't you tell people how they can get, right here.
You didn't hear her mention my name, did you?
Michelle Bell can have the floor now. Okay, there you go, Shelly.
Hi, Sue, and hi, everybody. I just want to say it's been a real pleasure to be on this call. And because for me, the consciousness of wholeness is really the voice that's coming in at this time. It's huge. And, you know, we've talked about unity for a long time, but that actually doesn't register with the body. When we say unity, it can be as big or as little, you know, but the experience of wholeness is something that we all can open to receive, this return to wholeness. So I love the download, and yeah, it just feels really beautiful that, you know, I remember when we were at the house together in the start, and I can just see the shift, you know, in you and you know, and in anybody when they start to really grasp onto that sense of who they are and the gift that they're coming through with. And I see that you and many people are offering incredible things now. But for me, the key is wholeness, that return to wholeness, to really get, because I think then that's the point when things just blow off, because nothing can attach itself to that pristine experience, right? It can't attach itself to that. So I look forward to you know, reading your book, but also having this experience that's really emanating within this call. So thank you, and it's really good. I've been traveling 9 months, so I haven't really been on these calls. And
welcome back, Shelley.
Wow.
And bring a guest. and that's another thing we didn't say on these calls. If you feel like you have a gift and you want to be a guest on this call, just, you know, through the Facebook page, let us know that. Or if you want to bring a guest, if you know somebody really special like Sue Cimino that you would like to introduce to other CCC members, the door is open. So, okay, Sue, I would like you to, I'm going to put in the chat, tell us the best way to get a hold of you.
Well, Sue Cimino Author is a page that I started recently that will have all the book news, including as soon as it's ready to buy on Amazon, it will come out there. So
is that SueCiminoAuthor.com or is that Facebook?
Sue Cimino Author on Facebook.
Okay.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, if you look for Sue Cimino Author.
Okay.
And in fact, people could send me a message there, you know, like a a private message and give me your email address and just say you want to be notified, because, and I'll just put you on my mailing list. If you're not on Facebook and you want to just go direct to email, it would be Suebee, SUEBEE .bicom, BICOM, at gmail.com.
Okay.
Suebee.bicom@gmail.com. Okay, when you put it in there, I'll say, that's it. Yeah. Great. And you can email me there and, and say you want an appointment, or ask me, if I think I can help you with this, or tell me you want to be on my mailing list, or you want to know when the book is out. I have been being prodded quite relentlessly. Sometime as soon as the book is out, I will have some offerings that would be like a Zoom call like this, but that would go back into that state of grace, re-clear the body, like reset the body, do any upgrades, and also join together to clear some of the collective agreements that we have, like the male-female dysfunction or abusiveness or whatever. Like I'll just listen to who's signed up and my direction, but go deeper into different areas, for an hour and a half, whatever, and I'll make it reasonably priced because I want it to be accessible. But all of that, if you get on my email list, then you'll hear about that when it comes out, because it should come out in the next I was going to say month, and they're like couple of weeks. So we'll see.
Okay. We have a message from Deborah. She says, "It is a true joy to be present to this moment and a witness to your journey, and I love you." I love you too. Then also from Nicole, she says, "Love, love, love clearing the collective." And so let's also remember Nicole, her community, and the children who are, as she said, not finding their mentors. And
Nicole, will you tell me the name of that that town again? Or
I had to take myself off mute. It's Perry. It's in Stark County, Ohio. It's Perry High School. In particular, there's been a lot of suicides in in the area, Ohio, and a lot of them have been teenagers.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I'll go.
Is that like Perry?
Perry, Perry High School.
Yeah.
Perry High School. And what's the town?
Stark.
That would be it's in Jackson, Ohio.
Okay.
The Stark County, Ohio.
Jackson, Ohio. Stark County, Stark. Okay, I just put it in the chat. So
thank you.
People, if you can just put that next to your prayer candle or whatever, be most appreciated. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is Bob. I also want to thank you for this amazing evening, and also and underscore and italicize Shelley's comments. Your brightness. I haven't seen you in a year and a half since we did our session soon after the convergence in 16, and your brightness, it isn't just confidence, that your voice into this, which is yours to do, is just so strong in a loving, positive, contributory way. And I really have enjoyed spending the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is take everyone off mute, unmute all. And then we could just say good night and thank you, Sue.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Sue. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll talk to you soon.